No, I wanted to beat someone up one time. Did you hear about the time when Minx had these weird girls come to her house and they were being rude to her, and then they were rude to Austin, and I went outside and I yelled at them to kick them out?
No, wait, what rude girls?
There were these rude girls. So we went to a Disney Stars channel party.
What is that?
Welcome to LA. I don't fucking know. Yeah, it had like the kid from Modern Family and
no idea who that is, but alright, yeah.
Yeah, like it had all these weird kids. Well, they're not even kids. They're like 20-year-olds that pretend to be 14 on the Disney Channel.
Okay.
So we go to this Disney Channel party. I don't know how we got there. Well, it was the only time Maya convinced me to leave the house. So we leave the house, we go to this party, super cringe. It was like a house party, and I was like, we have got to leave. And so then I convinced everyone to go back to the Envy house. So we go to the Envy house, and it's just like the group of us. So it's just like Will, Hassan, Austin, me, Minx, Maya, like, you know, it's just like streamers. And then all of a sudden these 3 rando girls walk in.
How old are they?
They're like 21. They're young.
Okay.
Were they from the other party?
They're from the other party, and they found out about this party. Long story, like way later, it turns out Weston invited them, which I feel bad for Weston because I yelled at him when I was mad, and then I had to apologize to him. Because
first up, never apologize, but go ahead.
Well, and they're like super rude to Minx. They show up, and Minx is like, that's the girl that pushed me over at the party. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I was dancing and this girl pushed me. And I was like, on purpose? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, that's weird.
What?
Yeah. And then my friend Aiden was like, oh my God, those are the same girls that shoved me and Scott in the bathroom and forced us to pee together. And I'm like,
what?
I'm like, what is this? What are these bullies? Like, what is going on? Like, what the heck? And so I'm like, okay, maybe there's some drama here. Maybe people are being dramatic. And then Minx has cats, right? These girls go outside, they leave the sliding door open. So Minx walks over and she's like, hey, I have cats, make sure to close this. And so she closes it. As she's walking back towards us, one of the girls stands up and opens it again.
No, she did not.
Yeah. And so then Minx runs over and slams it shut, and she's like, what the is wrong with these people? And I'm like starting to, you know, calculate. Crazy brain in my thing is like, time to stand up for friends. And I'm like, all right. And so we send Austin over. We're like, Austin, will you go figure out the vibes? You know, Minx could just be reading it wrong or something, or maybe they just hate Minx. Austin goes over there. He comes back over and he's like, I have never met anyone more disrespectful. It's like Austin when he doesn't get his cookies at Marriott, you know, he's livid.
Yeah.
And so he's like shaking. He's like, I can't, they made me feel like trash. They made me feel little, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? Okay, why are these girls here? Why doesn't someone kick them out? And everyone's like, just like kind of shying away from it. And I was like, I'll do it. Like, this sounds like a great time for me.
Yes, I'm like, with you. That sounds like...
I love kicking people out.
I love ego-checking people. Yeah. I love it. Oh my God.
And so I'm like looking around the house and I can't find them. And I'm like, oh, maybe they left. I walk outside and they're outside in the front. And so I'm like, oh, good, they're leaving, you know?
Yeah.
As I'm turning to go back in, I hear them say, yeah, this house is fucking ugly anyway. Oh, and that girl with the purple hair, she's fucking gross. And so then I just like turn red and I turn around and I walk over there and I said, how fucking dare you talk shit on a house that you weren't even invited to? Like, how the did you get here and why do you think you're so special? And the girl goes, and we're in the Hollywood Hills, right, chat? The girl's like, so there's like tons of ledges and stuff. If you've ever been up Hollywood Hills, there's just drops and ledges. And the girl's like, oh yeah, I think I'm special. If I'm so special, why don't I do a backflip right now? And I was like, and I look over and it's a ledge off a cliff, and I was like, what? I was like, yeah, go ahead and do a backflip. What this
doesn't sound real.
She's crazy. She's just a crazy girl. And I was like, I don't know why you think you are special, but I need to remind you that you are no one.
Yes.
I was like, no one here knows you. No one here knows why you got here. Yes. Like, I don't know why the you're here. And her friends start apologizing for her. They're like, I'm sorry. Like, and I'm like, no. Like, this girl's got a problem. And I'm like, I forget what I said to her. I don't know. I projected all the bully things that have ever been said to me.
Do you even know her name?
No. And so then Maya's like looking for me, and everyone in the house is like, Cutie's out there kicking those girls out, you know? It's like 3v1. And so Maya's like, let me go help my friend, tiny little Maya. So she comes outside, and it's right when this girl, she goes, I don't know who you are in your H&M jeans and your fake Gucci belt. And I was like, okay, number one, it's real. My boyfriend bought it for me.
You said that to you.
Number two, these jeans are from Old Navy, please.
Yeah, show some goddamn, put some respect on Old Navy.
Old Navy.
Yeah, bitch.
Yeah, she said that to me. And then, and so I was like, I literally said to her, I was like, you're going to be so upset when your trust fund runs out. Like, Like, why are you poor shaming me? This is not like, why are you even here? Like, what is going on? Like, just leave. All I'm doing is asking you to leave this house. Yeah. Like, what is going on?
You should have went up there. You should have been like, I could buy you and your whole family.
So I say that to her. I'm like, you're gonna be really sad when your trust fund runs out. She rips off her jacket to like try to fight me, right? So she rips off her jacket. As she takes off her jacket, a bunch of shit that she stole from the house falls out of it.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
No, it did not.
And so
it did
she's
not.
all up in my face. Like, I could kiss her on the forehead. She's
Dude, this is not a real story.
Yeah, this is a real story. Yeah. She's staring at me. I see all this shit fall up, and I just start laughing, and I said, wow, you're really fucking pathetic. And she's sitting there, and she's, like, yelling at me, and I go, please fucking punch me. Please do it. Because she's like, I could take all three of them. They're just tiny. And Maya's just standing there, like, giggling, like, just ready, like.
Oh, my God.
And then they didn't, and I went like this, and then they walked down the street, and I picked up all the shit.
She poor shamed and then stole?
Yeah. It was crazy. But it was funny because, like, Weston walked out in the middle of it, and I was like, I was like, Weston, is this your fucking fault? And he was like, what? And, like, went back inside.
So did you figure out who they were? Are they Minecrafters?
You know what? I'll spill a little tea that hasn't been spilled before. One of them has a podcast, and we found this out later, and pretended like it never happened. Didn't address it in their podcast. Deleted all the comments on their YouTube of anybody bringing it up.
So they're YouTubers.
Yeah, they're one's an ex like Vine star.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, they're about as relevant as we are. Like, I'm not very relevant. Like, whatever.
Everything's irrelevant. Yeah.
Everything's irrelevant. But
so
it's
they're
just
21 and an ex Vine star.
Yeah, but also like just being.
Oh no way.
Just check the privilege. Why act like that? And so many people would like some of their fan base would defend them and be like, oh, that's just their sense of humor. Bullying? That's their sense of humor.
God.
Being rude, stealing stuff from people they don't know? No, that's not a sense of humor. Like, and she also at one point said to somebody, she said if they don't pee together in the bathroom, like she was like, if you don't pee together, then you're not against Asian hate, and then force them in the bathroom. And they were like, okay, like it was just weird. She was just fucking weird, like, and very rude. And then people were like there's some weird there's cross community in every corner of the internet. So then people were like commenting on her podcast being like, hey, are you gonna say anything about this? They just pretended like it never happened, deleted comments, like.
That's the best way to handle it.
Yeah, it is true. That is the best way to handle it. But it's like, I think, and people were like, oh, it doesn't surprise me. They talk about this like they do it often. Like they always troll. They troll at parties and they steal stuff. And I'm like, guys,
what?
That's not funny. Like that's just like it's not funny. Being rude to strangers is not funny. Like they weren't trolling. They weren't joking around. They weren't like, LOL, my name's Pokimane, like convincing people they were Pokimane or something. Like they were just being mean.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
That's LA, baby.
Oh, they're so lucky I wasn't there, dude.
Really, Nick?
I would love to fight a little 21-year-old. I'm just kidding. Oh, that's great. That's old Nick territory. Old Nick used to look for shit like that to get into. Like it was super
so
fun.
Weird. It was so weird.
Wow.
It was just bizarro. Like they like opened the fridge and started eating like the girls' food.
So let me get this straight. Poor shamed you, stole, eating other people's food because they can't pay for their own.
Because it's funny. Said the house was gross. This $1 million fucking house Envy bought. Like, get over yourself.
That sounds like some major projecting.
So weird. Like, I don't care whose house I go to, and it could be as ugly as fucking hell. I'm not walking through it being like, this house is fucking ugly.
Unless it's Mrs.
Well, that's because
that is a crazy story.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you shared it with us today.
Thank you. If you want more stories like that, check out Wine About It. Second Sunday of every month. Yeah, it was so bizarre.
I don't even know how I would have acted.
Oh, I was livid. I'm sure I don't remember.
Malena would have got physical. Malena.
I was waiting for her to punch me. If she would have punched me, it would have been.
But the issue is that
you have to wait for them to punch you, otherwise you can get prosecuted.
But like sometimes I just don't think that I have the option to wait for that.
It's so like high schoolish out there.
Oh, it is. It's like high school cliques where no one wants to be rude to the popular girl, and Hassan's the popular girl, you know.
Wait, is Hassan popular? That's crazy, because Hassan really likes me, so that means I'm popular.
The popular girl likes me. Hassan's popular.
All the shit that's happening to you guys, like the stuff that comes out and Wine About and stuff, it makes me feel like my life is just boring as
well,
I don't go out and do the things.
I don't either. Maya will force me, and will kind of justify it as a podcast story.
Nick, I bet you've never been in a fight in your life.
Are you kidding me? I'll fight you right now, Donator, little bitch.
Wolverine.